So I wanted to talk a little bit about the BEACN Mix Create. I've been having this since the release date, and I didn't really have a use for it, but I thought it would be more beneficial for me to have physical knobs and buttons compared to the mixer that I use. Now, this is still integrated with my mixer. My mixer does everything that this can do. Like, my mixer can reroute things because it's like digital. I use something called a Motu AVB, and I have it connected to both. Well, I used to have it connected to both of my computers, and it sort of routes audio from one PC to another, and can even route other audio inputs from the mixer itself, and have you route it to like Discord or whatever, and have separate channels. And this sort of does that as well. The only difference between that and this is that this one has physical buttons and knobs, which I personally like. In the Motu, the only way to access the mixer controllers is by either via web browser or having a tablet and downloading the app, to where you can use touchscreen controls to like lower the volume and see like the way that the mixer looks and the faders looks and all that stuff. And I still use that mixer because like all my audio, the way that my mic is connected to the Motu mixer, and my PCs are connected to the Motu mixer. But I simply use this as a controller to route audio to my ears and to route it to the stream or videos, and I can like control it here and see it separately and stuff like that, instead of having to have another web browser open to see my actual like things connected and having the touch screens or move my mouse to sort of change an input when I can just do it physically. So I could have went with the mix, just a simple BEACN Mix. But there's one particular reason that I wanted this, because one issue that I had with my mixer was getting audio from like consoles or getting audio from just anything in general, right? Like I had trouble getting audio from my Nintendo Switch, my PlayStation, my Xbox, and I could have bought a splitter or a switcher, like an audio switcher that could switch the audio depending on what I was using at the time. But when this came out, I wanted to see if my idea would work, and I still haven't seen anyone use the BEACN Mix in a dual PC setup in the way that I use it, which is not like a big difference, right? I'm pretty sure someone out there uses it. Maybe there is a video, but every two PC setup that I've seen always recommends using like two cables, the line ins and the line out from both of your PCs. But that's not how I use this, and I'm going to show you at the end of the video when I show you the software how I use it. But now that the Elgato Stream Deck Plus has came out, I don't know if this is better than that. I don't have the Elgato one. What I do notice when I see videos and see the differences is I do love how these meters in particular move along with like reacting to what's going on and how loud something is. So if I had my mic here, which my mic is not going to show on here because I have it routed differently, I don't really need to see my mic here. I don't need to control my mic. I always leave my mic at the same level and control every other audio from here. But like when the game is playing, I can see it here and it's going to show how loud it is. I have my Discord and every like other voice channel that I have it here. I have anything that's internet related, browser related, or videos that are playing on my desktop, Spotify and all that stuff. I have it playing here. And then I have the system in case there's something that I haven't routed, and I have it set here, and in case I want to move it in the software, I can drag it to either one of the appropriate locations if I need to. Usually I have everything set up the way that I want, and there's nothing new that I tend to open that I need because I have everything set up properly. So when you click this, you can have it mute to yourself or you can have it mute to the stream. And then you can also have this one, as you can see, it says self. It's going to mute for myself. Now, what I really like about this, from what I've seen compared to the Stream Deck Plus, is the fact that you see the meters. You can change literally the colors right below on the meters. I mean, on the knobs. Like, these colors can be anything you want. So if you want something to be particularly a different color so you can remember what is what, or just because you fancy the way that it looks, right? But also, I love the indication that you know when things are muted, because you can kind of see that it's red and you know that there's no input going on, as long as you set it right in the software, because this is only going to be muted to myself and not muted to the stream. But if I hold this for a little bit, it's going to switch inputs to my speakers. I wish there was an indication, but there's not an indication, not yet at least, telling you what you switch to. But I'm looking at the software right now, so now I'm back on my headphones. Now, the audience mix, the stream mix, I can see it right here. So it does have a little icon whenever I press the audience mix, and in my headphone mix, you can see that happening, which I think is very useful. Now, I don't know the limitations if how many things I can actually add, like how many channels, but you do have pages here where you can turn if you want to see the rest of the ones that you've added. This is really all that I need for myself. I don't really need any more, but the knob I think feels fine. The only thing is there is no like physical into it. You know, it just endlessly keeps going in any direction, but you can kind of see. Now, one thing compared to the Elgato one is that this is not touchscreen, which I think it's a big flaw when it comes to this. Now, I don't mind that it's not touchscreen, but it's like that added benefit of like being able to sort of read what you want to do. It's like, oh, I just want to mute. It's not that complicated to see the physical buttons right under the screen, but it's like, it's a big screen and I feel like it's underutilized. There's no touchscreen on it. I wish it could have been a little bit bigger instead of having like this black bar that would have just stretched it out. But it's like they have this big logo for no reason. They have this empty space here for no reason. I mean, this border for no reason as well. Like there's just a lot of things that they can change. And I know they said they were planning on adding themes and the way that it looks and customizing it. I don't know how in depth they're going to get with that, but it's something that I wish was already available. I mean, like this is just a whole empty bar for no reason, and it just says BEACN and it has their logo, when they could just put their logo on the top left corner, right corner, if they want to keep their logo, and just stretch this out or be able to indicate other stuff that is going on in your stream or going on in the software, right? Like, and obviously make these look like actual meters. I think that would be pretty cool. Now, I don't mind these circles, but it's just nice to be able to change it up and have to look at something else. I think it would be pretty nice. But I do love the way that it looks. I do love the simplicity of it. And I haven't had any issues with it. Unlike a lot of other people, there have been issues with some people, like disconnecting with their audio, not picking up certain types of audio, having to restart the app. The only issue that I had, and it didn't happen often and it hasn't happened in a long time, was that every time that I put my computer to sleep and I would wake my computer up the next day, it would sometimes freeze up and I wouldn't be able to move anything. So I will have to just close the app and turn it back on. That was a little bit annoying when it was happening, but it hasn't happened in a very long time. So yeah, I do love that. Now, one thing that I want to talk about is they're working, like a lot of these things they're working on. So I don't know if I can recommend this if you're looking for specifically certain things that you need, right? The Stream Deck Plus already has VSTs, and I think VSTs is something that would be very beneficial for myself. Now, in my mixer, I have like a compressor, I have a limiter, and I have like other stuff that I can add to each individual channels on my own mixer. But ever since I routed things through here instead, I lost the capability of being able to compress my teammate's voice, my friend's voice, like in Discord channel, videos. Like I lost the ability to be able to compress and limit all that stuff. And I really wish that they add VST soon for all these channels. I know they're probably going to add it to the voice, which I don't need any of that stuff for my voice because I process my own voice through audio gear that I have. So I don't know when that's going to come, but if you're looking for VSTs to work on these separate channels, that's not a thing yet. Maybe one day it will be, but I don't know when that's going to be, if ever. You know, sometimes things can change. Companies may just like stop doing updates altogether. I don't know. So you might want to go with the Stream Deck Plus when it comes to that, if that's what you're looking for, because VSTs are very useful to add a lot of things to your voice, add a lot of things to like your Discord voice or teammates voice, in-game audio to compress or to limit, whatever types of plugins that you want to use that are out there on the internet that you've bought or that you've downloaded. You can make your teammates like sound bassier, put a little bit of EQ in it, take away some of the bass, whatever it is, right? Like there's a lot of things that you could do if you were able to put VSTs on each individual channel for that specific source that you want. But I heard that the Stream Deck Plus ends up adding a little bit of delay, or more delay the more VSTs that you add. But I don't know, we'll see. For now, I'm perfectly fine, but I hope that they do add that, because the only VST I'm going to add is going to be on the Discord or like teammates' voice channels. I'm going to be adding it on that. But I used to be able to compress my friend's voice on my own mixer. Like I said, I lost that capability since I use this to route everything now, because I wanted physical knobs and physical buttons. So I lost the capability to do that, but I gained the capability to be able to like just put it by my desk and be able to reach out whenever I want to change something. So I think that's very beneficial, at least for me. But I'm going to go to the software and show you what it looks like and how I routed my audio for a 2PC setup. So this is the BEACN software. I just have one profile. You can make different profiles here. You can save them. You can copy and make profiles for other things whenever you're not streaming. If you want to have like profiles for when you're just playing games or something, whatever it is. Now, every time that you move a knob, you'll see the slider affected with that be able to move in real time, which is pretty cool. But I don't really ever have this software open like as a window like this. I just close it and leave it running in the background. I don't ever need to see this except when I'm initially setting it up and making sure everything's okay before I like start gaming or streaming or recording videos. But it's there. I mean, some people do have it open on the side. I used to have my other app for my mixer that I use open because I needed to physically see. But since I can see everything on the BEACN, the actual hardware, I don't really have a use to have this open unless I'm adding like new inputs and stuff. But I have it going out to my DAC, which is going out through a Toslink cable. And then I also have my USB speakers whenever I don't want to wear headphones and I'm not really doing anything, but I want to game and still hear sound. I can switch. Now, if you hold this for like a second, it switches and you'll be able to see. I wish there was an indicator, like I was saying earlier, of when it switches. That would be the only time that you need the app open to be able to tell if it actually switched. And that's another thing that annoys me, is I have to open the app. If I don't hear sound coming, I'm like, did I do something wrong or did I do it right? And I open the app and I'm like, oh, my volume is down, but I did switch. It's just a little inconvenient not having like this sort of show what source you're on when there's a lot of screen real estate on the BEACN Mix. I wish that it would show that. But yeah, I mean, hopefully things that they would add in the future. But by then it's like, it's beneficial to have it now and not rely on hoping that one day they will add it, right? But you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Now, maybe there's something that I'm not understanding, but every time that they say a 2PC setup, what comes to my mind when someone says a 2PC setup, I automatically assume they're either using NDI or they're using a capture card. If you're using a capture card, I don't see why they give you the step to sort of add cables going from the line in and the line outs from your PCs in order for you to get audio from both PCs together and be able to mix it, because you're already using a capture card. And the way that I do that is my capture card is connected to my streaming PC via USB. And if I'm capturing my PC, my gaming PC, I'm already having an HDMI cable come out for my gaming PC. Therefore, it shows up as an audio source right here. So it shows up as HDMI Live Gamer Ultra. And it's already checked. And that's how I get sound. So anything that's connected to my capture card, whether it's a console, my PC, a TV, it doesn't matter what, I'll be able to hear sound because it's going through the capture card and it's going through here, through the BEACN Mix. And I don't know, I tried the other way, but I found that this one was way better, because then I would still need like a splitter in order, or a switcher, an audio switcher, to be able to capture like my console and all that stuff, when I can just do it all from using the capture card. So I don't see why they didn't leave this, like why don't most tutorials show this as an option for a dual PC, because I truly believe that most people who do dual PCs are using capture cards. and this will probably be like the best way that you'll always get audio and be able to control it from anything that's connected to that capture card. And that's what I do. I just check it, and this is my gaming one. Now, for some people, because my setup is a little different, I don't have a mic here. I don't need to control my mic audio. I leave mine the same. But the way to add this is just to add a hardware, and it shows up right here anyways, right? And then you click on the capture card that you have, boom, and you check it off, and you'll be able to control that one with the fader on your BEACN Mix Create. So yeah, I just think that's a way easier, simple version, like way to sort of do it. Now, maybe there's something wrong with this way. I haven't found at least anything wrong with it when it comes to using it in my setup, but let me know down in the comments below if you had trouble doing it this way or if this way works better for you. But I haven't seen one video talk about this when it comes to the way you connect it to two PCs, and I think this way works a lot better. Now, you also have this link that you can kind of link the audio channels together. So as you can see on hardware for my game, you can move them at the same time if you think your audio levels are perfectly fine. But if you think one is louder than the other, you can unlink it for now, leave this here, link them again, and they'll move at the same time, relatively, like what it estimates to be kind of like chain linked. So it's like, okay, it's pretty loud on my end, but I don't want it to get lower for them. I want it to sort of say relatively the same. So it's going to move accordingly until it's muted, right? So yeah, you can have that. I don't really mess with this. I leave it all the same. Or you could just completely unlink them. And whenever you want to switch, you can kind of switch to the audience and do it like this if you rather do that as well. And you can also listen to the audience mix to hear what they're hearing. That way you can sort of do it this way if this is the way that you prefer to do it. But I think this way is a lot simpler than, having them disconnected. I think, it lowers it for everyone, not just myself. And if I want to like have Discord muted, I can easily do it from my knob or my mute button. So whenever I mute something, it mutes for myself. This is already, not enabled yet when it comes to the routing table. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I have it set up here just so you wouldn't hear like other sounds. I don't have it going through the route it yet, but I'll show you that in a bit. You can also go through like these and change what the knob does. So my knob mutes to everything. The button mutes just to myself. I can change that to mute all. Well, whatever I want it to be, you can change that for each individual one. You can also change the colors by clicking on here and seeing like if you want this to be your game. Be like, I want my game to be purple, to be red, to be green, whatever it is, and you can change that. Now, one thing I hate is that I cannot change the names of these. I think these are fine. But for me, I wish I could like put capture card here, like as a title, like as a name. I haven't been able to change it. I don't think you can. That just kind of sucks. This, I would just put like Discord or voice chat. Chat is fine, but sometimes it makes me think it's like a YouTube or Twitch chat. Browser, I think that's fine. System, I think that's fine. But still allowing you to be able to change it to whatever you want. Like, because sometimes your mind works a little bit differently. Like everyone's mind is different. Initially, whenever you see something, you might think, oh, this is what it is, instead of having to be like, what did I put here? But it's like, it's just a little nitpick that I wish that I could do. They did finally add drag and drop. So whenever you open an application, they show up under here and you can sort of drag it in the category that you think it fits best. That way you don't have to like go into the Windows settings of the audio settings mixer and sort of output it to where you wanted to output. Now you can just simply drag and drop. They also added a simple way to automatically default devices to what it needs to be. So you can have that always apply in case you mess something up and you want to make sure nothing changes. And I'm going to talk about the routing. So this is literally just like the Stream Deck and Stream Deck Plus, or the Wavelink software. It's exactly the same. Now this is a simple version, and so is I think the Go XLR has something like this as well. the Wavelink has something like this, right? Like whoever copied who, I don't know, but they do it a little like it's basically the same, but they look a little bit different. I have actually, I'll show you. I have my mixer has this, but it's way more complicated and sophisticated than this. Okay, so this is what my mixer looks like. And I feel that it's a lot more complicated than the other one. Like I have a lot of outputs here, my headphones, my main, which is going to my audio DAC. I have my analog things that are physically connected to the mixer and they're output into other stuff. My toss link, my computer USB stuff, so you can have multiple virtual audio things going, especially if you're using like an audio DAW, that you can sort of route these to go to different things, or you can download like ISO on OBS and have these kind of be separately, which it gets a little bit more complicated. Then you have like your main mix, so you can route everything going onto your main mix. But this is sort of what I used to use, and I still use it. I mean, it connects everything together, and then I just control it for my BEACN mix. But this is literally a more complicated version once you learn. The other one is like very basic and easy to sort of use. As you can see, it's like only showing you what you need to see and what you have on top here. But I mean, this is your personal mix, your audience mix, your VOD track if you play music. So like this is my game right here, hardware. I can have it not show to me or show to me, which I can hear. I can have it sound to the audience to stream or YouTube video, whatever it is, or have it not sound. So like for instance, this is Discord. You want it to only hear for your headphones. You enable it if you're having a private conversation. Assume you have your mic as well. You can turn off your mic if you have one here. But yeah, as you add things, they start adding here and you'll be able to add it to wherever you want. You want to add a VOD track, you add it here. Be like, okay, I only want the VOD to show this and this. I want my voice chat. If I'm using it here, I want it to only listen to my voice, but not everything else. Oh, but I want my friends to hear my music, so I control them. Well, then, click on browser and, you can do all sorts of stuff. Basically, the simplicity of the routing table is to route things the way that you want, that is different from what you're hearing. That way you can control audio accordingly to what you want to hear and how you want to hear it, compared to what you want your stream to hear or your videos to hear, right? You may love listening to music, but you don't want your stream to hear the music. You may not love listening to music and you want your stream to have something to hear, or have a podcast, or whatever it is. You can route it in any way that you want, as long as you choose to set it in OBS to output through the audience mix. Anything that you put here is going to go to your stream or your YouTube videos, and whatever's not here is only going to go to your headphones. And it's very simple to sort of do that. But yeah, I think that basically covers everything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the BEACN Mix Create. I think it's a good product. It's just, it does need things that I wish that it has, but for now it works for what I needed to do. I mean, the only thing that I'm hoping for is the themes, like I said, to change the way that it looks. And I'm hoping for VSTs. Those are the two most important things that I need. Other than that, I don't see anything else that I could possibly need from a program or hardware like this. I think that's plenty, unless they add a new version where it's touchscreen, but that's just kind of like not a necessity, but it's such a big screen for something that you can't even touch, or something you can't even customize the way that it looks. So hopefully that adds the functionality of VSTs and the themes to where you can make it look however you want, or have different profiles that people can make and have people be able to upload theirs, and you can just sort of download it. Like you can download icons for your stream deck. That way you can personalize it, or people can start. Actually, some people could make money from just making themes for the BEACN Mix. Some people would buy them, and you'll be able to have a unique looking BEACN Mix that looks different from someone else's. I think that'd be kind of cool. I hope they don't go the route of like they're only going to make it themselves and they're only going to be for, and those are the only themes that you're going to be able to use, because people are going to be more creative than the actual company is, right? Like, especially if you open it up to everyone to be able to make something, and then people can be able to sell it or download a code or something and be able to input the way that it looks. I think it would be far better. Just like the Stream Deck icons, more people are creative than if Elgato were just making it themselves, right? So I think that would be beneficial. But that's it for me. That's all I wanted to talk about. So if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section. And I'll talk to you next time when I talk about other products and stuff that I use that I want to give my thoughts on. So yeah, anyways, take care. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.